The source that I get, that I believe in, the God that I serve is a very forgiving God. Very, doesn't even need to forgive. For me, God is extremely neutral. God is good, God is bad. I don't believe in the devil. I believe in God in all aspects. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Limitless Conversations podcast. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I am your host and your favorite friend, Sean. And you can find me at Authentically Sean on all social media. And here on this podcast, we talk about expanding and being our best limitless selves. I talk about my personal journey. I bring my friends on and talk about their journey and how we're just expanding and living very spiritual lives. Everything about life is a spiritual experience. I experience my spirituality through experiencing life and thinking like, what would Source do? Okay, how would Source navigate this? How does Source see this? And it's no different today. Today, I want to talk about forgiveness and the art of forgiveness, the energy of forgiveness, how Source feels about forgiveness. And before we get into that, though, I do love to do check ins this season. Let me know how y'all like this, okay? I want us to take a moment, just like a few moments, to check in with where our perspective is. I'm really big on perspective shifting and giving perspective. My mind always sees all the different perspectives of a situation. And so it's important for me to tell you guys, the listeners, what is my lens today? What am I talking about this from what stance am I talking about this from? So when I think about forgiveness, and how I'm feeling today, I am feeling, honestly, you guys, I'm feeling really full today. I am feeling really graceful right now. And grace, my lens is the lens of grace, which we need a lot of when it comes to forgiveness. And if I define grace, grace is truly acceptance to me. Acceptance is everything, but grace is just truly like I accept what it is and like it's okay. And it really ties to forgiveness as well. Grace is not judgment. Grace is not seeing things as good or bad. But grace is also, if you see it as good and bad, not being upset that you see it that way. It's just being very neutral, very compassionate, and very soft. And so my lens today is grace. I'm seeing things from a very graceful space. I am coming from a very full place right now. I have been back into my routine, and it's just something about a routine, not even just something we all know, child. A routine really it pours into you. I've had a lot more to pour these days. I have been running a little empty over the last few weeks because it's been very busy. Like it's just been a very busy time for me. And so I hadn't really I was micro dosing on self-care, which we'll talk about another episode. But like in this space, I'm really like back macro dosing on self-care. And so like every morning I wake up, I pray, I listen to some Abraham Hicks. In the morning, I'll listen to a sermon, I'll listen to some gospel, just things that really set the intention for the day, even on days when I don't want to do it. Because on the days that I don't want to do it, I had a really beautiful moment the other day. I didn't want to do it, but I know that if I do it, I'll feel good. So I did it, right? I did it anyway, not wanting to. And I was listening to a sermon and I barely heard any of the sermon because I just wasn't connecting to it. But I still went through the motions. And there was this message in the sermon. And he said, he talked about how our time isn't God's time. And like, even though I wasn't paying attention, that was the part I needed to hear because I was frustrated about something. And it was like, you know what? Give it to God and let it go. So yeah, so that's my lens, you guys. I'm feeling very full. I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling connected right now. And I'm feeling very graceful. Like I'm feeling like grace. And so this topic today came up because someone in my life, I was getting a very so how my gift works sometimes is like if I'm connected to you and you talk to me, it's like about something you're going through, like I get messages for you. So the person that is in my life, someone else in my life that I'm connected with, they were going through something that they need to forgive themselves for. just like them lights. I'm gonna forgive them lights for playing with me right now. I'm gonna run over there and fix it, and I'm gonna be right back. Someone in my life had went through something pretty traumatic, and they were having a hard time. I could feel their spirit really beating up on themselves. And I am around quite a bit of people who beat up on themselves. So this isn't even like a new message that I've ever given to somebody or a new revelation, but it was just a refresher. I went on a trip recently and I beat up on myself. Like, I'm not excluded from this. I don't even think I realized sometimes how hard I could be on myself. And I went on a trip recently and the lady came, I the lady came to the beach, talked to us, and she all gave us cards, like oracle cards or, to read. And my card talked about appreciating your journey and stop criticizing yourself. And the moment I started to read Stop Criticizing Yourself, I was trying to read out loud to my friends, and I just couldn't. Like, I just started crying because I do criticize myself. I am very hard on myself, and a lot of us are. A lot of us beat ourselves down for every little mistake that we've made, every wrong choice that we made, where we believe we're supposed to be in life, where we're not in life. And we're comparing to not only a lot of times not specific people, but just what society says. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of us are navigating our journeys based on the cards that we were dealt, right? And so that means that each of us are starting at different vantage points. And so we have to give ourselves grace through understanding that there is no one set way of how life is supposed to look or how things are supposed to look. So bringing this back to the energy of forgiveness, a lot of times when we're being extremely hard on ourselves, we're having a hard time with forgiveness for the mistakes that we've made, forgiveness for the choices that we've made. And what I know is that for me personally, it's always important for me to say this is just my personal journey. I'm not saying this is the gospel. If it feels good in your spirit, take it. Like, I'm down to share it. Here I am, right? But if it doesn't feel good in your spirit, then just leave it, disregard it. But the source that I get, that I believe in, the God that I serve, is a very forgiving God. Very doesn't even need to forgive. For me, God is extremely neutral. God is good, God is bad. I don't believe in the devil. I believe in God in all aspects. So God doesn't hold judgment for anything that God created, because God understands that it all plays a part in the ultimate evolution and whatever that looks like. It doesn't always mean it's a beautiful evolution, or air quotes around beautiful, but the story of the hero, it's the evolution of the story of the villain as well. I mean, like, to me, I prefer to operate in the highest version of God, which is still not neutral, but the highest version of God, what people will believe is God. And I try not to operate as much in my more lower vibrating, lower with air quotes, devil with air quotes energy. But the God that I navigate with doesn't hold judgment for anything that it allows to happen, that it has created, that it has made space for to exist here. There isn't something that exists here that God didn't have a part in. So for me, and I want to offer this to you, God never needs to forgive us, because God is never upset with us for anything that we do. And so where does that come in with forgiveness? A lot of times it's us. It's our judgment of self. And I find I can heavily rely on God's ultimate unconditional love for me to bring me back to knowing that I am not the thing that I just experienced. I am not the thing that I just did. I am not the mistakes that I made. None of those are true to who I am. Even the good things you could argue that they're not true to who you are as well. They're all just experiences that make up, that they're all just moments that make up an experience that you're having. So when it comes to forgiveness and it comes to God, for me, God is never upset with us. So why do we experience bad things or downfalls or what we believe is karma. And this is tricky. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel really I was thinking about this in my car yesterday. I feel hesitant to share some of the ways that I live life because I know that I from my perception, this is judgment, let's be clear. From my perception, like I wouldn't take these teachings and use them for harm because you could take any of the principles that I share and you could go and do quote unquote bad in the world. Um, and that's sometimes what makes me nervous because the way that I think about things, I know that my intentionality and the ways that I move is pure. But to be real, this world has people of all types of situations, of all types of energies, and we all possess all those energies. So anyway, though, getting back to the energy of why do we experience like what we put out comes back and the karma and all that thing? Well, that is because we as the humans that is not always connected with source, that is not seeing things how source sees them, we hold judgment and resentment and anger to ourselves. And so if the underlying tone is I did this thing that negatively affected me, I believe that negative things will come back to me. And therefore negative things will come back to me. But it's not like source is like, hey, you did this thing, punishment. That's not how I view it. It's like we are the ones that are holding ourselves in jail when God has already forgiven us. God has already moved on. And so now I want to talk about how do we forgive ourselves? Because if God is not mad at you, if source is not holding this against you, then how do you get out of that loop? Then how do you move out of those cycles? And I'm also channeling you guys, so bear with me, but because I couldn't write an outline for this. God had me up at 4:00 this morning. I never filmed this early. I never filmed early, but God's been getting me up at 4:00 in the morning for the last 2 weeks. And so this message was on my mind this morning. I said, we're going to give it a try, God. I'm going to shoot this crack of dawn. And, yeah, so getting back to just wanted to give out that though, getting back to the energy of forgiving yourself. How do we forgive ourselves? I want us to I want to give you this. I want to offer this to you. I want to submit this to you. I love when people say that because you can take it or you can leave it. I want to submit this to you. Sometimes I view myself outside of me. And what I mean by this is like, how would I view this if this was someone else? If I needed to forgive someone else, what would I need? I want you to give me, I'm going to give you guys a moment to just ponder that. Like, what would I need in order to forgive someone else? All right, it's a podcast, so I can't give you too long, but if you want to have to say next, pause and sit with it. Really, truly, sit with it. Take things outside of you sometimes because we're too close to us. If I had to forgive someone outside of me, if someone did something wrong, if my boyfriend cheated on me, practical, we all experience it sometimes, right? Most people do. Okay. So boyfriend cheated on me, whatever. What would I need to forgive that man? You would need to see a changed behavior. You would need to see a changed behavior because you have violated or broken a trust with me. And sometimes that's what happens when you are in unforgiveness or whatever the opposite of forgiveness is. Someone has broken some kind of trust with you. You have broken a trust with yourself. You have broken a promise with yourself. You have broken a vow with yourself. You have broken character with who you believe yourself to be. And so now what is needed is you need to see a change in character to forgive yourself. Because remember that God has already forgiven you. God ain't holding it over you, right? But if our human mind needs something tangible, because we tend to, if you need something tangible to move forward, create a change in your behavior that will allow you to forgive you. Because if this was someone else outside of you, you would say, you need to prove it to me. You need to be doing something to show me that you have changed. So you need to do something to show yourself that you have changed, or you may have a hard time forgiving yourself. I don't like speaking absolute, so I won't say will, but you may have a hard time forgiving yourself because if you're saying that you want to forgive yourself for dishonoring yourself, but then you continue to dishonor yourself, you're not really sorry, right? Because forgiveness comes because you are sorry. But if you continue to do the same behavior, you're not sorry. And that's just true. And that's okay if you're not sorry yet. And that will move me into the next thing. Sometimes you're not sorry yet. And sometimes the thing about it is we're human, you guys. We have to give ourselves grace. And what does it, people say all the time, what does it mean that you're human? It means that we are not perfect in the sense that we're perfect, but we're not. We make mistakes. We go off track. We forget. Life, we're impacted by so many things that are perceived to be outside of us, affecting us. So how we're navigating isn't just based on what we want to feel. It's based on what our parents told us to feel. It's based on what our job is making us feel. It's based on what traffic is making us feel. It's based on what our childhood made us feel. So we should honor ourselves because we are navigating so many things. Our mind is moving so many ways and we are part of source, but we are not source. So it's important for us to also remain connected to source, to navigate through these things, because when you're living in unforgiveness of yourself and of others, you're not connecting to source because you're not seeing it how source sees it. So coming back to the energy of the forgiveness and the not feeling sorry yet. That was the word I was looking for this whole episode, right? In order to forgive, right? Like people say, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And so if you're not sorry yet for the thing that you did, like, that's okay. Because sometimes things take time. And we don't like that sometimes as humans, especially now. With everything being so fast, so instant gratification, like the biggest transformation in my life lately has been the acceptance of where I am. The acceptance of where I am. Accept where you are. Right now you're pissed. Right now you're angry. And that's okay. That's okay. The faster you can just allow yourself to be and stop fighting against it. Because you want to be here, but you're actually here. Those two are bumping heads instead of you're here and you're allowing yourself to be here, and then it just flows. And then you just flow right through it. And the times are different for everybody. As someone who moves on very I can move on from things quickly. I'm going to encourage you, if you're someone who sits in it, to give yourself a time and then choose to get out of it. But if you're not ready, if you're not sorry yet for the things that you did and you're still in the motions of the thing, like, I remember I was in my villain era, right? Where like, I couldn't really care about what people felt or how what I was doing. I don't say how what I was doing was affecting other people, but I mostly just wanted what I wanted. I wasn't seeing the grander picture of things. I just wanted what I wanted. And when I was in my villain era, I fully embraced the villain era. Like, I was like, this is what we're doing. And this is where we are. And I allowed myself to have that experience without judging myself. I wasn't mad that I was having it. I was fully aware that this happened, which sent me into this. And I'm here now. And this is what I feel. And I wasn't sorry about it. And then I decided I just didn't want to do it anymore. And because it got old, because I allowed myself to experience it. At the end of the day, we're beings of love. Sorry, throat chakra. We're beings of love and we're beings of light. And ultimately, we'll always make our way back there. And so I believe that for you. I believe that for all of us. And if you can't believe it for you, let me believe it for you right now. Like, you are. You are a being of light. You are a being of love. You are joyous. You are kind. And along the way, that's going to be the next thing about hurt people. Let me put a pin in that so I can revisit that. But you are a being of love and you are a being of light. So it's okay for you to travel into the darker spots of you because you're all things, just like God. That comes back to the thing that God is all things and we are all things. And so it's okay for us to travel into some of the darkest corners of ourselves and allow ourselves to be in those spaces, because ultimately contrast is what reminds us of where we want to be. So, and some people tend to stay in the darkness longer, and that's okay for them. If you don't want to, that's okay for you as well. So allow yourself to be where you are. If you're frustrated, like if I'm frustrated about something, I'll allow myself to listen to frustrated music. because I will honor the fact that I get to be frustrated. Like, you get to be angry. You get to be hurt. But remember, this is just us. This is just our human mind. That's what this realm of earth is about. This is experience. It's about the emotions and feeling things and experiencing things like this. Source is experiencing it through us, but source is neutral in all things. And so we are here to experience these. And so it's like I allow myself to fully feel it. And this does tie to forgiveness in the sense of you'll make your way to the forgiveness. You'll make your way back to the ultimate understanding of all things existing. That's what forgiveness really is. It's just I understand. I get it. This is a part of life. This is a part of an experience. I understand it serves a purpose. Maybe I don't know the purpose right now. Maybe it will be revealed. Maybe it won't be. And that's okay. Life continues and I must continue. And so allow yourself to be in the spaces and don't try to fight against the space that you're in. Instead, embrace it and trust in yourself and trust in God that you will make your way back. 2 songs are coming through right now. There's this song by Beyonce. The Black is King album is so good, so spiritual. And just a song, Find Your Way Back. Big, big world, but you got it, baby. Find your way back. Don't let this life drive you crazy, or this world. Find your way back. But in the song, I always hear that whenever I'm thinking about journeying through maybe some of the denser energies of the world, from traveling through them. That's okay. I'll make my way back. Big, big world, but I got it. Big, big world, but you got it. Right? And the other song that's coming through is if you're dealing with forgiveness, is Yet by The King Has Come. I always type in Don't Give Up on Me Yet, but the song is just called Yet. And she's like pleading with God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. So don't give up on me yet. And I think I've channeled this song before. Sorry, it's just brought me into a different energy. The reason I love that song is because the song is pleading to God to not give up on her. And the thing is, like, God obviously never gives up on us. But sometimes we can be in a place where we feel like God is going to give up on me because I am a mess. I am a wreck. I am failing everything. I feel this very strongly. I just feel this energy very strongly, but I am a mess. God, if I was you, I would give up on me. And God, just please don't give up on me. Like, I need somebody not to give up on me. I need somebody to keep fighting for me because I might be having a hard time and I don't even see me in the best way right now. And if you're the person that is in that kind of an experience and in that kind of a moment, know that people might be fickle. People might leave. People might exit. People might come in and out. People might be unsure about you. But the one thing that is always sure about you is God. And if you don't have a relationship with Source, it could feel so impossible to feel that and to know that to be true. And so if you're in that moment, just have a conversation with God. I would play that song Yet because it's such a plea. And I would encourage you to have a conversation with God about how you feel. And then to remember the grace that God has given you throughout your journey. The fact that you still get a chance to keep trying in itself is grace. Is God's ultimate love for you. Is Source's ultimate love for you. The fact that you did that thing and maybe this could have been a worse consequence. Source showed you grace and said, I love you still, and I'm going to give you another chance. I'm going to give you another opportunity, but not God saying this is me saying this to you as a human. Don't take that other opportunity that God is giving you for granted. And if you fail and if you mess up, get up and try again. Get up and go again. Get up and do it again. And if you fall, it's okay. Sit in that fallen place, sit in that and navigate yourself through those dense energies back up to the place where you could stand again. The universe and the world are so graceful to us. God is so graceful to us. Don't take that us, human ways, human mind, don't take that grace for granted. If you ever feel unloved by God, just remember how things could be different. There's always something to be extremely grateful for. There's always a way that you can see that God is showing you grace. Even like I said, even if it is something as simple as simple, which isn't even simple, but something that could seem as simple as waking up today and getting another chance to be better, man. You guys, this reminds me of a moment that I had recently, maybe a few months ago. And I don't know this episode where, but because I would love for my mom to talk about it, but my mom has officially been cleared of heart failure. And this is something I'm gonna say we because we've been in the trenches together, but this has mostly been her battle. But as her daughter, I was here with her, and this has been something that, like, as a family, we have been as she has obviously more extremely been experiencing, but we as a family have experienced for years. And I remember, like, when she told me the news, I was so excited for her. I was so excited. And then the next day, when I had my time to myself, I was at the park, I was talking with God, and I cried because I said, God, I thank you for the grace that you have given my mom because you have given us another chance to continue. You have given us more opportunity to continue to try to make our family as healthy as possible with my mom still being here. You've given me and my mom more of a chance to keep building a healthy relationship and keep trying. Like, I cried because I was just so grateful that, like, we keep getting another chance. And in that moment, I felt like we shouldn't take this chance for granted. We shouldn't take this grace for granted, and we should be active in trying to be healthier and happier as a family. And did I fall off of it after that moment? I had a moment, then I got back into some other energies of respecting boundaries, respecting where people are. I can't force people to be anywhere else, and they are, and all these kind of things. And so I let it go. But in this conversation, I'm reminded to, in the ways that I can, continue to actively try. It's okay that I had that moment. I felt so empowered, and another moment happened and I felt unempowered. And it's okay to get back up and keep trying after I get that empowerment again. That's the part of the human journey, is that we may go up and we may go down, may go up and may go down. There's a song that says that let it go up and let it come down. I still bless you. We may go up and we may go down. And the goal, of course, is to be more comfortable in the ups and lay nest there and lay camps down and stay there more often. But um don't judge yourself for if you have a moment of being down. Forgiveness is hard when we sit in judgment of ourselves, and when we see ourselves, and when we have a hard time when we're judging other people. I want to talk about forgiveness with other people just a little bit. Something that has helped me with personally forgiving other people is the fact that I changed my mind to the fact that people are personally out here trying to hurt me and trying to attack me. I stopped taking things personal. I always recommend the 4 agreements to anyone who struggles with this. Things are not personal, man. Think about the things that you've done. Think about, okay, now I already told you to go outside of yourself. Now I'm going to tell you to go into yourself. Think about the times that you have hurt people in your life. Was your intention to hurt them? Were you specific? Were you specifically? Were you specific? I can't take myself. Were you specific? Let me be serious, because this is. Were you specifically trying to hurt them? Were you? Was your intention like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna fuck this up? I'm gonna ruin this day. I'm gonna make her mad. I'm gonna get her angry. Was that your intention? Most times it is not, and I will address when it is, but most times it is not. You were simply navigating with whatever space you were in, whatever tools that you had, and you were navigating life through that. And so when we think about other people, right, bringing it back to others now, people are not going around just thinking about how they could screw with you. They're not. I am so sorry to burst your bubble, babe, but you're really not that important to people. People are really not thinking about that. And if there's a scenario where you believe that, because sometimes people are applying and they do intentionally do it to hurt you, but unintentionally they are doing it because they are hurting. And so when I stop seeing people, I see people as whole. I see that God sees them as whole. I know that God sees them as whole, but I know that they don't see them as whole sometimes. So sometimes what brings me comfort is the fact that I see people as like, they're just hurting. Like the world does have hurt in it. There's a lot of healing, but it does have hurt in it. And so they're not trying to hurt me. They're just hurt, or they're just navigating from where they're navigating from. And so if you're having a hard time forgiving someone, and I know that this gets more difficult the more and more traumatic that the situation is, but forgiveness is never for the other person. And I want to elaborate on that in a moment, but forgiveness is never for the other person. So allow yourself to see them as someone who's navigating pain and hurt. Why is forgiveness not for the other person? Because this is a very popular phrase that I would love to elaborate on and ask God to come in and help me really explain this concept of why. Because the thing is, I mean, in forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is not for the other party. Forgiveness is for us. And why is forgiveness for us? Because we don't want to hold that energy. As long as you're angry with them, you are continuously living in a state that is replaying the situation, the thing, over the hurt, the pain, over and over and over and over again. And you are navigating life with the lens of the pain and the hurt continuously. If someone walked up to you and smacked you in your face, and you don't forget, and you don't let that energy go, because forget the person. You don't let that energy go, and you're holding on to that energy. You're now navigating life with the sense of, I'm not safe. People are going to walk around smacking me. People are going to walk around hurting me, because you're still holding on to this energy. It's still active in you. So that's why forgiveness is never about somebody else. That's why the forgiveness is beneficial to you, because you are releasing this experience and this energy that someone else gave to you, and you're carrying it, instead of acknowledging that maybe that person was having a really bad day. Oh God, that person was having a moment, and I give them grace, and maybe even I say a prayer. I know this. I'm telling you, I heard this before, and I was like, these people are sick. I ain't praying for them. But the prayer is for you. The prayer is to release the energy. The prayer is like, this happened. Okay, this was the experience. I pray that they're well. I pray that I can forgive them. I pray that I can let this go. And I let this go in this moment. I release it. Sometimes we don't see how simple a decision is, how simple a choice is. And so, yeah, that's what I want to say about forgiving people. I feel like this has been a really long channel, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I don't feel another thing coming through at this time. Yeah, I want to just tell you that you're doing amazing, and that you are navigating so well with what you have, and you can be doing more, and you owe yourself to do more. That's a big thing for me this year, is I deserve to have everything that I want to have, and I want to treat myself that way. So you're doing great. I'm doing great. We're doing great. And we deserve to have more. So we deserve to actively go after it, do it, pursue it, make the decisions, take the chances, all of those things, and give it to God. And that's gonna be another episode, is giving things to God, for sure. That'll be a good one. So As we close out every episode, how are we deciding to be limitless? I think y'all can guess what I'm gonna say. What y'all think I would say? What do y'all think? How do y'all think we can be limitless after today's conversation? Today, I am deciding to be limitless by forgiving myself. Let me say this, forgiving others, but most importantly, forgiving myself. Always and continuously. Continuing to forgive myself often when I believe that I fell short. Continuing to forgive myself often when I accept things that are less than what I deserve. Forgiving myself often when I accept something that I don't agree with. Forgiving myself continuously. I will continue to forgive myself, and therefore I will continue to be able to forgive others. And like I'm going to forgive this life for playing with me. Um, that's it for today. I'm not going to fix the light. I love you guys, man, and I hope that this message was helpful. And God, I thank you for allowing me to be a vessel in this moment and to allow for me to tap into the infinite intelligence that is you and the energy of this conversation. I am extremely, extremely grateful. I don't take it for granted. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next conversation. Don't forget to follow me on all social media. It is all at Authentically Sean. And all the pod stuff. What's crazy, I don't know the pod stuff by heart, but it is all in the description of this video. Okay, besties. Okay, friends. I love y'all. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.